All right, welcome back. Wow, it's 2 o'clock already. Time has flown by. I hope that you've all had a great and fruitful day joining all the sessions. And again, thank you to all the presenters that presented today. But again, we are here almost towards the end at the most important part where we get to actually hear from the students themselves. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to Cristina Castillo, who is the Latino Resource Center coordinator, a great mentor and not only a great advocate, but a great support system at the SIU campus. So Cristina, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Jonathan. Muchísimas gracias. Thank you, everyone, for being here all day. And it's been amazing having the opportunity to do this. I'm extremely grateful to this opportunity for having this opportunity. And right now, I am extremely proud because we are having this group of students that are SIU, currently enrolled at SIU. And they will have a set of questions for them so that they can tell us about their experiences. And for me, it's an extremely proud moment and very grateful because I have had the honor and have been extremely inspired by these students, and as a result, I can honestly tell that my life as a coordinator, I even get a little choked up. It's been enriched, and it's been just amazing to be able to have the opportunity to know these amazing young adults that I always say, if this is what the future looks like, and we are in good hands. So without further crying or choking, let's go and introduce our panelists. And I'm just going to introduce them. They can, whoever wants to go first, and please just tell us your name, your major, and what your classification, junior, senior, sophomore, and then we'll move on to the questions. And also for our viewers, we may take Q&A. If these questions get a little bit more lengthy, the answers, then we may not have the opportunity to answer your questions, but we'll take them, and then we'll see if we can further answer the questions with the students, okay? So any of you, whoever wants to start, please name, full name, major, and your classification in school.
I guess I could start. Hi, my name is Katia Saldana, but most people call me Kat, and I am a senior majoring in cinema with a minor in radio and television.
Hello, my name is Eduardo Munoz. I am a junior at SIU, and I'm planning on majoring in electrical engineering.
Hey guys, my name is Daisy Rodriguez. I will be a junior this next semester. I am majoring in radiology, specializing in diagnostic medical sonography with a minor in healthcare management. And yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Well, let's start with the first question. What has been the most difficult experience for you in school thus far? Include high school as well, if that is the case. Anyone can go first.
I'll go first. I'll go first, I guess. So I would say that I'll actually give you guys a little background information. So like I said, I am part of the diagnostic medical sonography program in the radiology department here at SIU. In the last year of the program, students are required to spend these last 2 semesters at a clinic site, completing clinical hours, which are basically like hands-on experience in an actual hospital setting. So to attend these clinic sites, we are required to pass in a background check, which is an issue for most undocumented students, especially non-DACA students that do not have a social security number. So by the time that the background check is required, and I do not have a social security number, I will be kicked out of the program no matter how well I'm doing in the program. So at first I thought I could get around this issue by looking into like hospitals not requiring social security numbers as an option, using a tax ID for the background check, or even running an international background check. So I just found out this last semester that all of those options that I thought were options weren't actually options at all. I am not able to do any of those. So for me, the most difficult experience this far has been, finding that out. Learning that I may not even be able to complete the program that I so dearly want to finish. I'm really interested in radiology and diagnostic medical sonography, and I really want to do this. So for me, it's been difficult to, find these other options, learn that they're not even options at all, and just kind of keep myself motivated to continue going, because it's so difficult to learn that what you are so interested in doing, what you really want to do in life, help people, you can't do. So it's just kind of, keeping myself motivated to keep going, keeping myself from falling down this rabbit hole that I was before I started school with, doubting myself, feeling hopeless. So all of this, so far, I would say, has been my most difficult experience.
Thank you, Daisy.
Um, Hello. So for me, the most difficult obstacle I've had to face has been definitely financial obstacles. Unfortunately, not even for DACA students, we don't get any federal aid or any federal loans. Therefore, I specifically rely on competitive scholarships or private scholarships, which are very competitive. Um, Throughout high school, I won a few scholarships that was able to win with my grades, but even then, tuition's quite a bit. So I had to rely on specifically scholarships, but even when some scholarships require you to be a U.S. citizen, so at that point, many of the scholarships I was already applying for, um, I had been denied for just simply because I didn't qualify as a U.S. citizen, and that was very tough. I also applying to different colleges my senior year of high school. I got flagged as an international student, and that therefore gave me the international tuition fees, and I had to go through a whole lot of process just to figure that out. And also, a lot of financial aid require my parents' W-2 and my parents' information, which unfortunately my parents aren't documented as well. And that's always a challenge to go through. And that by far has been the most difficult, some of the most difficult experience I've had to face by far.
Gracias, Eduardo.
Similar to Eduardo, for me, it was mostly paying for college. After graduating high school, I decided to go to community college because since I had a high GPA and I had really good grades, in Chicago, if you have like a certain GPA that's, pretty high, you can go to the city colleges of Chicago for free through the STAR scholarship. And so I decided to do that. And then after that, I didn't have any funds to go to a four-year institution and finish my bachelor's. So I decided to originally I was going to take 1 year off and just work and work until I can save up enough at least. But that turned into 2 years. And I was just working the entire time trying to save up. And even with 2 years of work, I still couldn't afford it. But thankfully, SIU was very undocumented and DACA friendly to students. So they helped me a lot with scholarships. And of course, I applied to both in-school scholarships and outside competitive scholarships. And thanks to that and winning these scholarships and awards, I was able to come to SIU, and I'm about to finish my degree. And so far, no loans or debt. I mean, it's still very hard for us to get loans because, we need to be citizens, or we need like a co-signer. And my father could not be a co-signer because he's also undocumented. So it's been really hard, but overall that has been my experience. So yeah.
Thank you so much. We have a question here, and why didn't the college academic advisor not let Daisy know early enough for her plans? Do you want to answer that a little bit, Daisy?
Yes. Yeah, so when I first applied to the program, I explained my whole situation, and she did tell me that there was going to be a risk. But she did also then, she actually didn't know. Then she thought that it was also the using hospitals that would not require a social security number. She thought that would be an option as well. So of course, I believe that, and I thought, well, that's the route that I'm going to go, and we're going to explore more routes as I go. I did forget to mention that this, as a sophomore, this past year was my first year in the program. As a freshman, I was an what's it called? I forgot the word. I was an undecided student, so I started this program my first semester of my sophomore year, which was this past year. So it wasn't until this last semester, it was like about a month or two ago, that she was trying to find out more answers, find out more options for me, and that's when we found out that none of those were options at all. I hope that answers the question.
Yes, it does, and I can. I mean, Daisy has gone above, beyond researching the possibilities, and it's extremely impressive to hear her say that her motivation, and she's still strong. She's still standing strong, and we'll find out. We'll see. We'll see how we move forward with all of this, but not to. I mean, all of these students are above 3.8 GPA. And that's an extremely amazing accomplishment, that under the circumstances they have faced, their intellectual capacity and the ability for them to focus in their courses and in their grades is simply inspiring. And it, I'm in awe of all of them. So let us go to the second question. How have you navigated the admissions process, and who has been there to help you? And we're talking now SIU.
So for SIU, I had to sign some affidavits and provide some documentation from that was actually me, and was actually a DACA recipient. But for my senior year, for every different college was a little different. Like I said before, I was flagged as an international student. So for the first year that I attended Kirkwood and Cedar Rapids, Iowa, I actually got charged an international fee, which was quite a bit. And then later had to really fix that issue. For Carbon, though, it was a lot more smoother. I had never had to sign an affidavit, but the admission process was very fairly for SIU, which is like Kat said, is very DACA and documented friendly, which was very helpful for me.
Yeah, I also had a smooth process with SIU compared to other universities that I applied to. Some of them did not even know what a DACA recipient was. They didn't know, what it meant to be undocumented. And I would have to explain to them like what exactly my experience was and what my situation was. And they would be like, oh, I'm sorry, we don't really have those opportunities here for you, but you can still come to our school and pay the entire tuition. So that was kind of ridiculous. But with SIU, it was a really smooth process. Yeah, there's a little more documentation with the affidavit and just, navigating the process. But overall, Christina was there to help me. My first day here, she was on it. She was like helping me with everything that I'm from Chicago and this is Southern Illinois. I've never lived in a place that's not a city, basically. So she helped me a lot with that. Also, Todd Bryson, Rita Medina, the now Dean, HD Modal, they all helped me pretty much get to know the place and understand or just, yeah, they helped me with the admissions process, and I am very grateful for that.
Yeah, so like Katia and Eduardo, for me, it was very smooth as well. I do remember I also had to sign an affidavit, which was something very scary for me because I had no idea what it was at all at the time. But yeah, thankfully, the people I did talk to about it were very helpful, very understanding. And like Katia and Eduardo, Christina was there to help me. Also, Martha was there to help me as well throughout all the process. I remember I called Martha and I had so many questions, and she was super patient, answered them all. And then, of course, Christina, since the day I met her, has always been there like an angel over my shoulder, helping me out. So thankfully, them too have made things, every single process since I've been at SAU a lot smoother.
Well, good to know that. Good to know that the process has not been as hectic, and I'm glad because it's for other students it's been a little bit more hectic. But and also all of you have qualified for scholarship, for merit scholarships at SIU, which also puts you on a little bit of a different bracket also for the admissions process, which is very, very exciting. So the next one is, how was your experience with the application for the RISE Act? And after the application, was your award disbursed to your bursar? And if not, what was the issue?
So for me, the application went very smoothly. I did have some help from my advisor back in high school. So the application itself went pretty well. However, once I got my award disbursed into my bursar, I did have taken it away quite a few times actually. I was in the I didn't get my award literally until the last week of the fall semester. Um, Between the whole semester, I had to every week go into the financial aid office and discuss my, because they would always ask for different documents. And at the beginning of the semester, Christina helped me out a lot. She helped me out a lot. Literally, the first time I got to meet her, she was already emailing people. But for Daisy's question, the affidavit was required in order for me to get that award, get some money from the Rice Act. But luckily, this past spring semester, I was also able to get the Rice Act award without an issue. So at first it was very complicated. I did have it taken away, and it was into my account and then taken away probably about 6 to 7 times. But eventually we got it sorted out.
Yeah, similarly, the application itself was pretty smooth. I did have a few issues when I talked to the financial aid office about, because I couldn't see the award in my bursar. And I didn't know why, so I went to go ask, and Christina was there. Like Eduardo said, she was like emailing people right away. And we were both confused because there was just some issue with my high school transcripts, or they didn't go through, even though I submitted them when I applied to SIU. But other than that, it was pretty smooth. That was the only big issue that really gave me a lot of anxiety because I had no way to pay for that semester, and it was already past the class registration date, so I couldn't apply for my classes or like register for my classes until that was paid off. So I was really nervous the entire time, but that was figured out and everything turned out well. So thank you, Christina, for helping me.
Making those calls. In the case of Daisy, do you want to share a little bit about that?
Sure. Yeah. So I did not apply to the RISE Act. I do not live in Illinois. I live in Cape Girardeau, Missouri. So I wouldn't have qualified for it. But I do see that I've seen multiple questions asking about the affidavit. So yeah. So like Eduardo said, well, for me, I had to fill that out for the admissions process. It actually, I found out later on that it wasn't a requirement. They just simply recommend for you to do it. Like, you are not required. They're not forcing you. to actually fill it out. It is up to you if you want to do that, but I did because I thought it was something that I absolutely had to. But just to clarify, it's not something that you are required to do. It's just if you would like.
Thank you, Daisy. And it's just one of those things that I constantly tell Daisy, you need to move to Illinois, you need to move to Carbondale so that you can get that benefit. But we'll see. She still has managed to receive other scholarships. So in talking about scholarships, what are the scholarships that you have received, and have you still have financial gap after your scholarships, and how have you paid for it?
So I received multiple scholarships these past 2 years. For my freshman year, my first year, I received one from SIU, and the other was a private scholarship that helped pay for most of my tuition, but I did have a financial gap after the scholarships, which my parents had to help me pay. I did not work at the time, so there was absolutely no way I could have paid for that, but they helped me pay for it. And I must say that even though it was like a few $1,000s left, they did struggle because they had never had to, just pull out like $500 a month to be paying for that additional from the other expenses. Thankfully, this past year, my sophomore year, I received a few more scholarships that helped me pay for my entire tuition. And it was a big help because now I didn't have to worry about paying those extra $1,000 that my first year scholarships did not help cover. Instead, I could just focus on buying the books and materials I needed for my school, which was, let me tell you, like a great help.
Since my time at SIU, I've received a few scholarships. Coming here, I received the one of the most competitive ones, which is the Dean's Transfer Scholarship. And that one helped me pay for most of my tuition. Additionally, I've received a few awards here and there throughout these 2 years that I've been here. Like most recently, I received the Outstanding Leadership and Service Award. Thank you to Christina who nominated me for that. And I've also won a few other awards that were outside of SIU. They were like private scholarships. And even though they weren't much, maybe like $500 at most, that really did help me a lot with paying the gaps in my bursar bill each semester. Currently, I do have a gap for my summer classes, and I am trying to figure out a way to pay for them right now. So hopefully that gets figured out. But of course, the RISE Act helped a lot. I received awards for my screenwriting that have provided, they're considered awards, but they're also scholarships for my writing. And that really helped out a lot too. And it's, good resume builder.
You're muted, Eduardo.
All right, yeah, my bad. So for me, I've had the honor to win a few scholarships. I received a transfer scholarship from SIU and then some other private donors that luckily did cover my fees and tuition for this past school year. However, I have to keep searching for new scholarships every year in order to help me cover most of my tuition for the following years. As to the financial gap, it comes out of my pocket. I am currently working at a warehouse in Dot Foods, which I'm actually working right now. My managers are very understanding, knowing that I'm a college student. So, like for stuff like this, they allow me to step out of the warehouse, do my thing, and then when I'm out for the semester, they allow me to come back and work whenever I'm able to. Since I live in Beerstown, Illinois, which is about 4 hours away from Carbondale, I simply just don't like work a lot. I work a lot over the summer. I tend to be financially responsible just because I've seen my parents not have anything and make the most out of a couple dollars, and seeing how much they've worked all their lives, waking up and being underpaid for all the hours they work, just really makes me not want to ask them for money. It makes me feel bad. So luckily and thanks to God, I've been able to cover most of my tuition, whether it's from scholarships or myself from this past 2 years, and hopefully the next two.
Thank you. And I can tell you honestly, they're always writing scholarships. Besides taking the time for their courses and assignments, they're always writing for scholarships. And so they're extremely proactive in that sense, but I think that it is still much more for us to do, at least for not seeing these talented students struggle as much, or any other student, honestly, any other student. Of course, we have to do much better, because it's something that I don't think we are truly giving the access for our students as they deserve. So we talked a little bit about your departments and your majors and all of that. Who in your department has been a key person in helping you develop as a student and in your success? And do they know you're undocumented or DACA?
So sorry. For me, yeah, like I mentioned earlier, I did talk to my programs administrator, which also happens to be my teacher for most of my radiology courses. Uh, and so she knows, and a lot of people in the department, like my academic advisor, also know that I'm an undocumented student. Definitely, these questions are like a little tricky for me because, as I said earlier, my teacher also slash program administrator did help me find out if some of the options I thought I considered were options. I feel like sometimes, you know, as a documented student, we need a little more help than that. And by that, I mean that, you know, I think we need the type of people that are willing to give us a chance, you know, open up doors, make space for us. Because if rules are keeping us from being able to reach our dreams and being able to complete these programs, they need to be changed. So we need people that are willing to help us fight these type of rules, not just kind of stand in the sidelines and just tell us, no, you can't make it. We need people that, you know, are willing to, like I said, change these rules. So I've definitely had her help in answering some questions. But other than that, it's like that's about the help that I've received. So it's like a yes and no type of answer.
So for me, the people that have helped me out in my department has been I haven't gotten the chance to really meet a lot of people in my department just because this past year with most of the classes being online was very complicated. But I did have the honor to meet Christina, which it was such an honor. She has helped me out a lot. Probably out of from SIU has been the person by far that has helped me with any questions I've had, whether it's my department, financial aid, or any other concerns. Other than that, my advisor Jack Young has been also very helpful. He does know that I am undocumented. Well, I'm a DACA recipient, so he's always thinking ahead and planning out different possibilities and trying to also even help me out look for scholarships. So that's been great. And for a question I saw on the panel, unfortunately for me, I don't have any family in the United States. So navigating all the admission process and like being able to look for colleges and scholarships has pretty much been on my own. I do have an older brother, but unfortunately he did not attend college. So I'm a first generation student. I'm actually the first one in my family from my great grandmother to ever attend college. It's been an honor. I do feel like I do have quite a bit of weight on my shoulder just because I feel like I'm breaking cycles. No one in my family has ever even thought about going to college because they could never afford it. So being able to attend college is an honor, and hopefully my kids and my grandchildren someday are able to follow my steps and continue to bring my family forward.
In my department, which is the College of Mass Communications, which is now College of Media Arts, or College of Arts and Media, sorry. When I first came in, the dean at the time, her name was Deborah Tudor, she helped me a lot with scholarships. And Rita Medina, she's like social media coordinator and like recruitment. She advocated for me a lot. And now also HD Modal, he is now the dean. He continues to help me out, and he has been very encouraging, and also has helped me with like scholarship recommendations and scholarships themselves, like departmental scholarships. I had a professor recently who had helped me with nominating me for a departmental scholarship as well. His name is Michael Phillips. So I've had a lot of help and a lot of support with the faculty and staff at the MICMA building. Everyone has just been so welcoming and accepting, and I am very grateful for that. And similar to Eduardo, I also do not have like immediate family here that has gone to college, and the family that is here, a lot of them are citizens, so they don't know what the process for an undocumented and a DACA recipient is. So I'm also a first generation, so this has been a journey that I have taken on my own, been completely independent from. But of course, I had some really great help from the faculty and staff at SIU, and just a support system that has really encouraged me and helped me out a lot.
Thank you. And I think that your department, your college, Katia, is one of the most welcoming and DACA friendly in the university. It has been, they're very proactive with that, and always reaching out to the resource center, or to really promoting the students that are, because we have had from that department about 4 DACA students that have graduated, and they're doing amazing things. Thank you all. Those are amazing responses. Let me ask you this one. What advice would you give to undocumented or DACA students starting college?
So personally, being a DACA recipient and knowing other DACA students in high school right now, I would definitely recommend them to get informed. And personally, I was always shy because I was always shy to, put out there that I was undocumented and that my parents were documented. So I never really asked questions. And that's something I would definitely change. There's definitely people out there to help you. So never be afraid to ask questions. That's the only way you can really get help. Closed mouth cannot eat. So I'll also always strive to be the best version of yourself. We're kind of in the disadvantage being DACA students, but always make yourself the best candidate for scholarships you do apply for. So always try to be the best version of yourself and be the best student you can be.
He really stole my answer there. Because that's I growing up, I was taught to be independent and fight for yourself. And I was also very shy, and I was really kind of scared to say that I was undocumented, because I thought people would look at me a different way, or I don't know. But overall, I do recommend that anyone who is a DACA student going to college, please ask for help. There's always someone out there who will help you out and will answer your questions and give you the support that you need. And be involved in everything that you will find interesting and that you think will be beneficial to you, because a lot of opportunities will open for you. So those are my advices.
Definitely. So adding on to what Katia and Eduardo said, I would definitely also encourage you guys to be open about who you are. With me, it was definitely super, it was like a crazy experience, because I used to live in New York, and it's a lot more diverse there. So I was very open about being undocumented, and people were very, understanding. it's like they didn't care. Moving to, Cape Girardeau, Missouri, it's completely different. I was very scared of telling people because I would just even hear some jokes that some of my classmates would make without even knowing, just towards anybody who was, Hispanic. And then, starting out in college, I was scared that it would be the same thing. And it was actually completely different for me. It was actually empowering to be able to say, yes, I am undocumented. And now it's like anybody who asks, I'm okay with saying it. Like, it's not at all a problem anymore. And I think it's one of the best things that you can do. It's very liberating. You feel free. It's like you're telling people this is exactly who I am and I'm proud. I would also advise undocumented students. Like, I know how scary it is to start out college. I know that most of us do not have that support system. Like my parents were a great support system for me, but unfortunately, since they had not gone to college either, they had no idea how to navigate this process. But like they've said, ask for help. Like, don't give up. Keep yourself, motivated. Keep fighting, no matter how hard it gets, no matter how much you doubt yourself, how many nights you spend crying. Just keep fighting because it'll all be worth it in the end. Ask for help because there will always be somebody there to help you. And if you are going to SIU, find Christina. Find Christina, please. Like, she will make your life so much easier. And yeah, just surround yourself with people, that think like you and who are happy with who you are and understanding. That would be a great help.
Wow. All of you are giving me too much credit, and it's just because you have made your way to this office that you have touched me, and I have learned so much about you, and you have inspired me and empowered me to continue helping you and promoting you. You're simply amazing, all of you. So this is the final question, because then we have the closing remarks from the co-chairs and planning committee. So what would make your situation easier in college?
I would say that having more like teachers, administrators, directors, counselors, etc., that are knowledgeable about the challenges, obstacles, and struggles that students like me, undocumented, non-DACA, and DACA students have to face. Also, having these same teachers and administrators that are willing to help and create that path and space for students to be able to. Attend any or be in any program they want to be, major in anything that they want to do, and be able to actually complete that major. I think that would be extremely helpful for students like me.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Also, in addition to Daisy, what she said, having people knowing what DACA students are would have helped out a lot. Just because I have been to the financial aid office and other offices and be like, oh, I'm a DACA student. Their faces just go blank. They have no idea what it is. And sometimes even in the financial aid office, I had troubles because they had to do some research, go back to the handbook, and figure out what to do with undocumented students in those situations I was put in. So definitely that would have helped out a lot. But also, I guess having the same opportunity to several scholarships would have helped out a lot. But like I said, some scholarships just put you aside simply for being undocumented. But yeah.
Just to repeat what they said, yeah, I feel like educating faculty and staff that do not know what a undocumented and a DACA student is would have been very helpful. I've had a couple of professors ask me, oh, I didn't know you were undocumented. What does that mean? What kind of things are you facing? And I would have to explain to them exactly what it is. And similar to Eduardo, I would go to some offices when I was applying for a job at the Multicultural Resource Center, or I work for WSAU Public Television. They would send me from office to office trying to get documentation done, even though it all could have been done at the employment office, I think it was. So just educating faculty and staff a little more about our situation, that would be very helpful. And opening up more scholarships to students who are in our situation, because every time you go to the SIU like general scholarship application, and you know how they list out some scholarships that you qualify for, some of them I can't qualify for because I'm undocumented. So opening those up for equal opportunity would be very helpful for the future DACA recipient or DACA students that are coming to SIU.
Thank you so much. I think that that's absolutely truth, right? And that's opening the access, especially for this student population. Even though we don't have a lot of students, that doesn't mean that we cannot open have the access in a truly clear path with regards to degree completion, to retention and persistence of these populations. And I believe that have they chosen SIU as the place where they will fulfill their professional dreams, then I think we ought to learn about them and also provide those opportunities. And I agree with all of you, all of the things that you said. There's a question here on the Q&A that says, do you feel support? Did you feel you had support or guidance in high school regarding this process? I know Eduardo said he did have a bit of help.
So for me, like I said, I moved to Cape Girardeau, Missouri, which is mostly like it's mostly like predominantly white school. And so the teachers there had like no idea what an undocumented student wants, like at all. So there's a class in that school that's called College Readiness that kind of helps students prepare for college, apply for scholarships, apply to colleges, build resumes and things like that. So I definitely had to sit down and talk with my teacher and let her know that I was undocumented, kind of explain the situation. Even after I did, she didn't quite understand, grasp what all of that meant, what I could do, what I couldn't do. Like I couldn't, apply, qualify, for FAFSA, for example. So it was definitely a struggle, but I would definitely say that she helped me out a lot because I had no idea what to do. Being a first generation college student, not really knowing anybody else that could help me with this process. I had absolutely no idea what to do. I was confused at all times. So, being able to take that class and having her support me, telling me, what I had to do, what all of these things meant, that was a great help. Though she wasn't able to help me that much in the undocumented process, she did help me out with everything else that I needed. So in that aspect, yes, I did have some help in high school.
I had some help as well. I went to a most predominantly Hispanic and African American high school where there were a lot of undocumented kids. And I had a great support system there because it wasn't just me, it was a few other students who were in my situation. And the staff needed to be educated about what the struggles were for an undocumented student. And at the time, I think we were just starting to apply for DACA because it was a new thing. So we had a lot of help from staff and faculty there. Of course, when you're starting junior year, you get to start applying for colleges and getting ready for that. And we would have to be pulled out of the room because we had a different situation. So that was the only weird, surreal thing. But overall, everyone was very supportive and encouraging. So I am grateful for them for helping me out during that time because it was a very difficult time getting DACA stuff ready. You know how the process was. Once you first started applying for DACA, it was just so stressful, but they all helped me a lot.
Thank you so much. I'm extremely, like I said, I am honored. I know you. I am inspired by your stories, and I am empowered by your resilience. And I thank you very, very much. And the comments on the chat, and we don't have time to answer the other questions, but I am absolutely grateful to all of you for being here and for showing us your resilience, your intellect, your everything that you have in your favor, except that we need to work on accessing and giving you less hectic opportunities and less hectic college journey. So I will continue supporting you, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Cristina.
Muchas gracias.
De nada, gracias a ustedes. Los veo pronto.
Thank you so much, Cristina, and thank you to our students. I think one thing that was mentioned during the networking session at lunch is that, you know, a lot of times we don't stop to think that undocumented students and just undocumented people in general don't owe us their story, right? And for a lot of people, they've had traumatic experiences getting here, and just like telling your story is a very personal decision. And so we really appreciate all of you joining us today to talk about your story, to talk about your experiences in navigating the college process, because I think it's always helpful to hear it firsthand from students who have, especially with challenges that you've experienced, right? And a lot of you shared about some of those instances. So we really appreciate it, and thank you for agreeing to participate on our panel today. So I am so happy to see so many people still here today. Normally during our in-person conference, at the end of the day, we're all trying to beat traffic. We don't always have a ton of people at our closing session, but before I hand things over to Alex and Jonathan to officially close us off for the day, I want to thank all of you for joining, but I also want to thank our committee. And for those of you that were at the last NIU in-person conference, I feel like I owe this to the committee because I did not make it through my thank yous last time. So I'm going to briefly share my screen because there's a couple of things that I want to share. As I mentioned this morning, our committee is pretty small. So we're always looking for members, but I do want to thank my fellow co-chairs. So we have Alejandro Campos from USF, Danny Tamayo from NIU, and Jonathan Vallecilla from SIU. Thank y'all for collaborating with me on this conference. And then our committee members, hopefully I didn't miss anybody, but I have Nadia Flores from Knox College, Alicia Funes from East Leiden High School, Selena Hernandez from UIC, Fabi Calas from Northeastern Illinois University, Mayra Lagunas from UIC, soon to be NIU, Sandy Lopez from NIU, Abel Montoya, my colleague at ISAC, Luis Narvaez, my colleague at CPS, and a lot of people don't know, but my college recruiter as well. So he's the reason I went to U of I, and Rigo Padilla from Solorio Academy High School. So we had a couple of new committee members this year to our, for our planning committee. But so I thank everybody for your hard work throughout the year. I know last year there was a lot of things that were left up in the air because of the pandemic. I also thank all of our presenters who agreed to present this year. A lot of those sessions had been scheduled for last year's conference, and had the presenters had submitted conference proposals. So we reached out to them again and to see if they were interested in presenting this year. So we couldn't have made it happen without the committee. We couldn't have made it happen without the presenters. So thanks to all of you. Thanks to the students, to the moderators as well. And then I want to share a couple of things on our website before I hand things over to Alex and Jonathan. So on our website for today, Erin has been working her magic all day long. And if you go in there, our session recordings for this morning have already been posted. So a lot of those are already available. As I mentioned this morning, there's only one session that was not recorded at the presenter's request. And we also didn't record the lunch networking session, but everything else has been so far posted. Thanks to Erin for putting up with like my insane amount of emails and all the back and forth that we've had. We could not have made this happen without you either, Erin. And then two more things. So the first one is, if you are receiving or interested in receiving PD hours for the conference today, at the bottom of the conference page, you'll see a link for ISB PD hours. You do have to complete that form for every session that you attended. And you must have attended at least 75% of each session. Once you submit that, you'll please allow about 72 hours to get that evidence of completion. And then one other thing on here, this year, because the conference was free, we do encourage you, in lieu of paying for that registration fee, to consider making a donation to the Illinois Dream Fund to fund scholarships for undocumented students in the state of Illinois, or to make a donation to IACAC to continue to offer professional development opportunities throughout the year. So that is just something I want to encourage you. And then my last bit here is the college advising database. I probably should have mentioned this morning, but it didn't occur to me. If your college isn't already on here, please go in and add it. This is something that was revamped, I think it was 2 years ago. So now it's an actual database where you can add your institution. It'll have a map. You can select any institution that's already been added. And you'll have additional information. So I'm going to go ahead, and the first one is SIU, but Edwardsville, so I'll still click on it. It has information. You'll be able to enter information about your institution, about information regarding your admissions process, the contact person in your admissions office, information about your financial aid programs and on-campus support for undocumented students. So we're trying to build up this database as much as we can. Currently, we only have 65 schools, and I know there's more than 65 schools just in general in Illinois, and there's a lot of schools being represented here today. So even if you're not in the state of Illinois, you don't have to be from the state of Illinois. We encourage everyone to add your institution there so that our students have something more visible and something where a resource that they can access to understand what each college has to offer and who their best point of contact would be at each institution. So again, if your school is not on there already, please go in and add it. Or if you are already on there, but your information is outdated, please take some time to just go in there and update the data with your most recent contact information. That is all I have for today. So I am going to hand things over to Jonathan and Alex to close us off for the day. Thank you all for joining.
Thank you, Sara. I do especially want to give a nice big shout out to Sara, because she's like a big bedrock within our committee itself. I know for myself, being somebody that's brand new within the field of admissions, definitely, you know, she was a big bedrock and mentor on the committee, especially being a brand new co-chair. So it was really nice to have her. So thank you, Sara, for everything that you do for the committee and as a co-chair. Thank you all for coming today. There's still a lot of work that needs to be done, right? There's still a lot more advocacy that we can do. And by attending events like this or getting a chance to talk to each other during that networking sessions, please keep doing that. That's the way we can advocate for each and every one of the students. To Katia, Eduardo, and Daisy, you know, keep doing what you're doing. We are all proud of you for what you are accomplishing right now. You have much more to keep going and keep doing what you're doing. To any undocumented students, to any professionals that are here, you know, keep doing what you're doing, keep continuing being that advocate, okay? I do want to thank IACAC for everything that they've done, being able to host this event, and especially at SIU Carbondale, you know, and especially everything that Jonathan's done, because I know how hard he's been working the last 2 years to put everything together. So Jonathan, nice work. You know, I'm gonna turn it over to you.
Thank you, Alex. And yes, thank everybody who joined us here today. Thank to the committee, Christina, my fellow Salukis who are on the panel today. Thank you all. I'm going to leave today's conference with a little bit more formal final remarks. So I promise these are the final remarks, okay? So to all of our DACA and our documented students, you are the reason that brought us here today. We recognize your efforts, your talents, your resilience, and your unwavering commitment to continue moving forward despite the uncertainties and struggles of being an undocumented DACA student. As a Latino male who now understands his privilege and never had to deal with immigration status barriers or uncertainties to remain in this country, I am inspired by your bravery and courage. You personify the slogan of Si se puede. So thank you for showing us that progress is possible in the face of adversity. To all of our listeners, viewers, and allies, I propose moving forward, you considered everything you've learned today to strengthen your knowledge and to show up with your support and encouragement for our DACA and undocumented students. We came together because we believe a person's civil right to exist or right to be present should not be questioned. We have the utmost hope to remove barriers and intentionally work hard to help them fulfill their dreams and transform their lives as we continue to be inspired by the stories. Again, thank you everyone for joining us here today, and I hope you're all well.